Okay, welcome back. This is part 14 of Crash Landing, and yeah, I'm going to add more machines around here, and hopefully I will start working on my smeltery, where I get 3 times the ingots, and you'll see that later in this video. So, I won't do too much commentary in this video, just explaining some things here and there, but yeah, just watch for now. Here I am just routing the conduits into the main chamber where all machines will be. Where all my machines will be, I should say. And I just noticed that it does draw a little bit of power, but not too much. Now, I've gotten quite a lot of mob essence, though I do want to move this setup just because it's a little bit disorganized, and I'm getting a bunch of items that I can't put into the barrels, so I do need to fix this a little bit. And if you're wondering why I'm moving so much, it's because there are fans inside the generator, and that's pushing me around. So, but luckily I don't get killed by the grinder. This mob essence will be useful for getting or spawning wither skeletons for their skulls and enchanting in the future. Yes, this pack allows you to auto enchant and auto disenchant and auto anvil stuff that you would do in vanilla Minecraft. Except that the auto disenchanter is a powerful machine just because you can take for example, a pair of boots that has feather falling 3 or 4, and you can auto disenchant it and you get that book. You just need a book and you can get that enchantment, no problem. Because in vanilla Minecraft it just deletes it, I think. If you use an anvil. Something like that. Now here I'm just rearranging the barrels. I'm going to add more in the future. Or pretty soon, I should say. So as I was organizing this, I noticed it caused a jam. I need to fix it, and how I do that is just removing the piping for now. Now I'm going to get started on making the other machines for the pulverizers, machine frames. For the pulverizers, I need to make Invar and a lot of Electrum to make machine frames. So I can get started on this auto system. Now this is gonna be a little complicated to like break down, but right now I have one system that's gonna make gravel and one that's gonna make sand, and then finally dust. So the three pulverizers you see there are for the dust sifter, or it is for the dust sifter, and this one is for the gravel. Wait, no, that one's for the sand, because cobblestone breaks into gravel, and then gravel into sand, and the last one is a gravel. Yeah. So basically, I organize it from most processed to least processed, and just I'm using 5 autonomous activators in total. That's the quickest setup I think I can make with these autonomous activators without blocking the top, because you need to extract the items from the top part. Now I did try to use these pipes to send cobblestone to each pulverizer, but then I realized it wasn't working, so eventually I do use impulse item ducts for the cobblestone. And the mistake I made here, honestly, looking back, is I should have just used opaque ones, or the ones that you can't see through, that are not transparent. Just because every time you go to the base, once it's loaded, it causes a lot of lag spikes, but not too much. Though it might get a little more severe further down the series, but then it cools down a bit. Not sure really what happened. As you can see though, it is producing gravel, sand, and dust. Though the other issue that I noticed immediately is that there are byproducts being made in each station, each pulverizing line. So I do need to deal with that accordingly. Otherwise, I'm gonna have the system completely stop itself. And at first, I wasn't sure if it was producing enough gravel or not to keep up with the auto sifting system, but over time I began to realize, okay, it's keeping up just about enough, so I don't need to have double sets or a pair of pulverizers. This was just testing because I didn't know what I was doing. Now you can see here I am organizing the pipes here, or actually it's not really that organized, but what I'm doing here is just making sure the byproducts such as sand, gravel, and dust, I think, go into the machines that are sifting, or the pipes that go into the sifters that are represented by either dust, sand, or gravel. And the reason why I'm doing these 3 resources just because I do need something from each and every material or resource type, and such as like gravel gives you diamond and emeralds, dust gives you redstone, which is very important, and I would say sand gives me nickel, which I do need for crafting. As you can see here, it's starting to do its thing. Though I do need to eventually use an auto packager, and I also need to use some trash cans or garbage bins from extra utilities so I can sort out the stuff that I don't need, because you do end up getting a lot of stuff that you don't want, such as flint and Certus quartz crystals. I mean, I do need that for applied energistics, just not stacks and stacks from. But you can see the auto packagers are doing its thing. And now I'm gonna start collecting or mining these scorched bricks, and I'm gonna make that smeltery. I mean, I guess it's called a high oven. But yeah, I would just say the high oven for sure. And using the hammer allows me to get bricks, and I can get a lot. I did a massive cut here just because I didn't want to go through it, but yeah, I made this tower, the max tower I can make. This is not the max tower you can make in Crash Landing, but the max tower that was allowed by this bunker area in my base. And right now I'm stopping the auto packaging system because I do need to work on the processing part that goes into the high oven. It's complicated, but you'll see. Now there are probably better ways of doing this. Maybe there aren't. Maybe I'm doing it right. But as long as it works, and as long as it sorts things out in a way that doesn't cause unwanted items to clog the entire chest, that's okay. So once I figure out what I want to prioritize in terms of the trash can, I've set up this smeltery drain. Although I do realize that I did not make it correctly. Not sure if I showed it on camera, but there is a invalid structure error. Yep, invalid structure, and then it's kind of dumb in my opinion, but you need to put glass in the middle like that in a 3x3 pattern. So now it works. Well, I haven't even tested it yet, but now it's formed properly, and I just need to put these drains down, and I'm gonna put multiple ones so that it can extract ingots more efficiently. Or I should say cast them quickly into barrels. And the barrels will be temporary up until I get tesseracts to send items into my future ME system. Because having chests everywhere is just not viable in the long term. Especially since I want to make a turbine that's going to be expensive, and yeah. Now, as you can see here, I do have a servo and item duct right before the auto packager, just so that I can take stuff out such as redstone and lapis, and I don't want those specific resources auto packaged into blocks because I do need just the redstone itself, not blocks. So yeah. Now I was still struggling with the redstone, but eventually I do figure it out. It took a lot of thinking to figure this out and just analysis of what was going wrong. But eventually I do figure this out. It just involved servos, for crying out loud, and determining whether or not I need to use blacklist or whitelist mode. Now the reason why I made redstone blocks here is because I was still stuck on this problem that I had with the sorting system. So I was thinking maybe I just let the auto packager do its thing, but the problem with that is just that you know, auto packager or the piping comes before the auto packager, so it won't put redstone in to where it wants to go or where it needs to go. So after fixing that a bit, I do set up this auto casting. Well, actually, it's not auto casting yet, but eventually I will add redstone clocks from open blocks, and that will automatically cast liquefied resources or liquefied metals into ingots. And I'm gonna have ingots in here. Here I realized that I have too many barrels, and I don't want to have too many barrels, so I will organize these eventually. There we go. Now you can see here every machine, or every barrel I should say, not machine, as you saw earlier, was in its place. Now I'm going to do it again over here so that it's quicker, because I'm about to put a bunch of gravels, sands, and dust blocks, and that's going to clog the system a little bit, but yeah. Now the reason why I didn't use the block casts or whatever is just because the smeltery is not always going to make 9 ingots consecutively, so there'd be a lot of times where it would just clog and then it would stop the entire drain from doing its thing, and I didn't want that. And I'd also be wasting resources too, so I just use ingot cast, which is best for now. Now here I'm just observing everything, making sure stuff is going relatively smoothly. And now you can see I'm getting 3 times the ingots. And I believe this is the best setup you can have in Crash Landing. Could be wrong, but it's what I found to be the best. Alright, anyways, I'm going to call it quits here. I finally made this setup, which I'm proud of, and I must say I did have a hard time narrating this video, but that just goes to show that some things are just super complicated, though I managed. Anyways, till next time, bye-bye.